Hello everyone, it's Mr. Barden here. Today I'm going to be going on a little bit about how to set up, your DOS session in Studio One and working with the MIDI controllers and MIDI entering. This is a request for some of my students. So let's just hop into the program here. Seems to work best for recording when I send that to Windows Audio. So let's just make a new one. I'm sad I had to fix up my computer and I lost all my old, linking to the old projects. So that big list of all the stuff I've done is gone. So sad, so sad. So this is, I'm just going to call this the MIDI entry. Hello, Bean. Hey, well, you're going to join us on this video. As we're getting situated, it's a bit chilly where I am right now, so I've got my, jacket and warm hat on, and Bean wants the attention. So let's just hop into this. This video is all about entering MIDI data into your Studio One session. So I'm going to just real quick make a instrument track. The exact process, it may be a little bit different depending on which version of Studio One you're using. If you've got 4 or 5 or 6. This is 6, so that's what that one looks like, but generally it's the same thing. You may notice that the MIDI intro entry bar right here is going off, and I don't know how well you can see it, but whenever Bean's on the desk, she likes to stand right on one of my MIDI controllers. So that's what that is. So, it's not at all problematic for this video. Cutie. All right. So let's hop into it. So there's a few ways we can work with this, but we're not going to hear anything until we actually add an instrument here. You can add a whole bunch of stuff. I've got a handful, but mainly I'm just using the built-in synthesizers. I want to get some more eventually, but let's just load some stuff in as Bean tries to walk around. I'm just going to stick Mojito on here, and I'm just going to... There we go. Yes, Bean, my faders made a noise. It doesn't matter what we sound like. So there is that. Bean, you're very cute. All right, wave to the camera. All right, but I can't have you walking all over the stuff that makes noise while I'm recording a video on how to use the stuff to make noise. You see where the problem lies, right? So you can sit in my lap, or you can go off and do Bean things. You decide. We don't need a second track of this. So let's just hop out. So the first thing we can... All right. Oh, Bean, you jumped the gun. That was what I was about to say. The first thing we can do is just record audio and record things. So, maybe... That one's more pads. You could do, I don't know. Oh, it's not set up to take MIDI notes from that. But you can just record it with your controller. In order to connect your controllers, let me just zoom out a bit. We'll get rid of that beginning part so it's not massive. In order to connect your controllers, there's a few different ways we can do it. I like to go back to the start menu, and you have the option for configuring your audio and external devices. If you click on external devices, we have that here. And oh yeah, ever since some things had to get reset, I wouldn't go. So let's go ahead and add my new this keyboard over here. If you haven't noticed, I've got a full-sized MIDI piano over here. Very useful. Let's see. This is a new keyboard. It is made by Studio Logic. Bean. No, you're being a butt. I need that for this video. And this is the SL88 grand, I think. Yeah, SL88. SL88-grand. Or vertical line. I'm going off of what's exactly on the thing. Receive from... so once you've gotten, you've typed in all your info, you're entering all the stuff, definitely check this list, because sometimes there'll be all the pre-made information for your MIDI controller here. Sometimes there won't be. want to space it out like that. But from there, once everything's all connected into your computer, the USB under receive from, you should see everything right here. So Studio Logic Grand, that's my thing. We have that there. If your device has the ability to both send and receive MIDI data, you can tell it to send MIDI data out from your computer to your device. This is very handy for things like synthesizers and other control devices, to be able to send out the MIDI data to them and let them generate stuff. But for right now, I'm just going to have it receive data, because this is literally just a keyboard interface. It just sends in the data. It doesn't actually receive any. So you want to receive it from your computer. You can filter things out and only get certain bits. And you can send data if you want, but for this video, that's fine. So you'll see all of your stuff connected up right there. Just to make it match, I'll have it send the data back to the same thing. That's fine, whatever. Cool. Just so it matches. Okay, so now if I hop back into my song, we should see when I press this now. So now that's working. So again, that's the easiest way to do it. Again, you just have to record the MIDI data into your track. You can go into all of doing that, but there's actually another way. So if I just duplicate this track and get rid of that, we can actually manually enter all of the MIDI data. And I recommend doing a mix of these things. So if you're trying to make music and make it, sound like something you've performed, you're probably going to want to have some level of performance, like maybe like this, and record it. So you arm it to record. All right, and so on, you just record it. But what you can actually do in addition to that, again, because I've been talking about this for a while, is manually enter all the stuff. And to do that, you can double click on your instrument track here, and it will make a little MIDI window, MIDI area right here, where we can enter in our MIDI notes. This happens automatically when we record things. And if you double click again on that box, it will open up the edit window. You can also just click on the track and click edit or F2 on your keyboard if that works. But this will open up the edit window. And this looks a little bit different depending on what kind of track you're looking for. But the important part is that there is a piano roll. So you can go in and you can zoom in if you need to on this view. It depends on what you want. But you'll notice this is if they took a piano and turned it sideways. So the lower pitches are down here, the higher ones up top. Again, every C is conveniently labeled in Studio One with the octave there, and you can just double click and it will enter the note. And it'll do its thing. Actually, this synthesizer only does one voice at a time. So there's that. You can, on your note, you can select, a whole bunch of them and move them up and down, forward and back in time. So maybe I want to do this instead. Maybe I want the whole thing to, if I right click it, there's a whole bunch of stuff you can do under musical functions. Maybe I want to just transpose everything down an octave and say, okay, then it does it. Maybe I want it to all start on C. So I can enter that in and we play it. That's incredibly chaotic. We'll mute the other one. That's the wonderful thing right there. Beautiful thing we wrote. You can also manually, if you hover over the edge of this, make the notes longer or shorter. Depends on what you're doing here. You can actually fine-tune the appearance of this grid. By default, you can set all of the notes that you enter in to have a certain velocity or speed. I say velocity and speed is the same thing. It equates to the volume. It's representative of the velocity of you pressing a key. So however, no, not being, I'm using this. So however fast you're hitting the button, the faster you're pressing the key, the louder the sound. And you can manually adjust that here by selecting a note. And if I wanted to drop that down to 13, you can see actually this little bar changes, and the more lit up it is, the louder that note is. Let me just play it to show you. That wasn't that great of a difference, but you can adjust the velocities as well. I'll put it back up to 80. Yeah, close enough. There we go. But you can also, again, using these menus over here, do all the stuff, so that way you're not clicking and dragging and doing it all graphically if that's not what you like. But you can adjust a lot of info. Down here at the bottom is some handy info, and you'll notice that right here it's showing the velocity of every note right when it starts. So you could also adjust it like so. If you wanted to, adjust different kinds of modulations and things of different natures, pitch bend. There's ways you can edit all of that there. There's no pitch bend info, so there's nothing to edit, but this is where you can adjust all those things. I usually just keep it on velocity, but it can be whatever you want. It depends. And as you increase or decrease your area, you can see that it pops up. And does all of its thing. It just bumped it right up to the next one, or not. It's kind of what you're doing. This is the main part. Bean, you are being a butthole today. No! Quit being a butt. So, like I was saying, there's a few different views as well, depending on what instrument you want to use. You can click on the little drum icon up here, and this will, this is more used for, drum instruments, but you can use it for a keyboard thing as well, but it's implied that you would, if I just make a track, can I put the instrument on it just right now? New instrument, impact. Boom, just made a new impact. Quick right there, but, let me just load up a sound. Cool, we'll use that one. But now that we're in the Mojito mode, or I'm sorry, not the Mojito, the impact, you can see that each of these plays a different note, and it's a little bit easier to work with. It's more like a drum beat because they're just quick little impacts. Again, I'm just kind of randomly picking stuff. There's also the musical notation. It works better on more melodic things. Also things where you aren't just randomly hitting buttons, but it will, try to do its best to notate everything musically. So if that's how you prefer to look at it, that can be something you can look at. But I feel, at least for my students, the most common ones to see are the piano roll and the drum pad input. And again, you can edit a lot of this stuff. I'm not going to attempt to break all of it down, but hopefully this, was helpful. Again, the request for this video was specifically how to manually enter notes. So you just got to, have a region that you can enter on. You can do that by double clicking. You can make it as big or as small as you want, and then double click on that region to then, it's a lot of double clicking, manually enter your notes. So that's all of that. That's where I'm going to wrap it out today. Bean, do you want to say bye now? No? Okay. Well, that's where I'm going to wrap it up today. I'll see you all the next time that I see you, and I hope you have a great weekend. Try to stay warm. It's a little chilly over here. Bye.